Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 10 Imperial Japanese Navy destroyer Shimakaze. Matchmaking? Well, as I've said many times, no CV, that's pretty decent matchmaking. There's a little bit of radar in the form of the Chapayev and the Talon on the other side. DD threats, well, Druid, that's a nasty customer. Definitely do not want to run into that ship if I can help it. I disabled chat messages because one of the replays that I was working on had some very, very salty political talk that I did not think anyone would really enjoy having to look at, and then forgot to turn it back on. So you'll just have to forgive the fact that there are no chat comments. The team that I'm on turned out to, at least some on the team, to work really well together, and that makes a big difference. Some games when you're playing random, just really from the start, don't have much of a chance, and I think as frustrating as it can be, sometimes you just have to accept that that's just a part of the game. These are random teams, and these days with all the signals and stuff that people can buy to kind of race through the tiers, you might be playing in a tier 10 match, sometimes in an all tier 10 match, and some of the people on your team, sometimes multiple, sometimes a quarter of your team or more, have 300 to 500 games played total, and they just zoomed right up to tier 10 or bought themselves a tier 10 and have no idea how to play it or how to use the map. Or I mean, shoot, there are tier 10 players who don't understand basic game mechanics, like how spotting works. Anyhow, sometimes you can be on one of those teams and there's just not a whole lot you can do other than just look at it as an exercise in patience training. Just do the best you can and play another game when this one's over. But in this case, I happen to have a few people on the team that actually had some experience playing the game and were willing to work as a team, which is always just awesome when that happens. So why am I showing you this game in particular? Well, in part because, well, Shimakaze is one of my favorite ships. I have half a dozen or so that I really, really enjoy playing, and because of limited time, I tend to play those more than most other things. And at this point, other than CVs, I've finished everything. I've gone through all the lines. I've got most of the ships. There's some low tier things that I don't have. Everything else I have. See, I spot the opposing Shimakaze there. Managed to land 4 shells on him with the first volley. I think I'm going to just whiff on this one. I was expecting him to keep turning, but he didn't. Eat a little bit of damage there. Decide I'm going to go ahead and smoke up, because something tells me that he is not alone, that Shimakaze. And as I will often do, I'm going to get out of my smoke so I can spot for my team, and I know that the smoke is generally going to be the target of torpedoes. Now, if Tirpitz keeps going in a straight line, you can see on the mini-map, my torpedoes have a chance of connecting. So if you draw a straight line between where he's at and the direction that he's going, which is there's a little line for that, and then look at the blue circle around my ship on the mini-map, there is a chance my torpedoes might catch him. But if he slows down or turns at all, nothing's going to hit. However, maybe the destroyer went that way, so I threw them all that direction. You can see we've got a U-2501 on the enemy team that was last seen at Foxtrot 9, and he has stopped the entire group on the 9 line. They're just kind of dead in the water there. Now I have a good chance of securing this cap, especially now that I've just from blind luck really caught the enemy Shimakaze with a torpedo and took him out of the game. However, he of course spotted all of those torpedoes, which means the Tirpitz has turned out and none of my torpedoes are going to land on the Tirpitz. But that's okay. Actually, I think much, much better to have taken that Shimakaze out of the game. So a nice start for our team. You can see that the bad guys are down at Bismarck, Brindisi, and the Shimakaze that I sank. We've got a Riga that's really banged up, Cleveland that's lost about half its HP, Petro that's taken some damage, and then of course I took a little damage. Otherwise, our team's in pretty good shape. We've secured a cap, the bad guys have secured a cap, and I'm debating about where I want to go. There's really not enough time for me to get over there and help with that submarine that's on the 10 line. I have to count on the team to be able to do it. You got multiple ships there that should be able to airstrike that thing into oblivion. You can see some aircraft headed toward it right now. Kansas and Bismarck is just sailing broadside to that submarine. As we lose our Riga to the Druid. The Druid guns are no joke. Now I want to be able to help at Bravo, but I have to be careful here because, well, Russian radar. Granted, I think it only lasts for, 25 seconds? But that's plenty of time. If you haven't already been made aware, I will tell you about something that's, well, it's on the dev blog today, as their Zhao takes out our Cleveland, and now both teams are pretty close in terms of points. We've got a 30-point lead, more or less. We're down 2 ships, they're down 3. They're going to be making some changes to aircraft spotting mechanics, which I think is long overdue, and I'm really, really happy to see it. I'm probably within the Tirpitz secondary range here. My guess is he's probably built for it. If I get radar, that's the big concern. I can just stay angled up and probably be in a position to avoid most of his main guns, but secondaries can shoot me up pretty good. You can see the Talon has been taking damage. Our Talon is there, but our Talon pushed into that gap there and showed broadside, and the Druid is able to finish him off. So their Druid, that's 2 kills for him. Now, can I catch this Tirpitz? Some behind in case he slows or turns. And that 2501 is still going. And you can see that we've got our Buffalo and our submarine there that are just completely locked up. Kansas and Bismarck continue to push forward, thank goodness. But the team has been working well together. And our Shima and Petro combo up there at Alpha, they're about to flip it. Red Zhao, Red Tirpitz pushing in. I do manage to land a single torp on something in there. Aegir, I guess. And I do land a torp on the Tirpitz. And our guys are able to secure the Alpha cap. Shima and Petro there. Like I said, teamwork. It's an amazing thing you don't often see in randoms. That Talon is just about dead. I got to ping him. Hope somebody will finish him off. I'm almost positive that's the only thing that Brindisi is looking at, and he does finish him off. So we lose our Petro to the Red Zhao that's right there. And our Brindisi, thank you Fuzzer 100, takes out their Talon. We are now down 4 ships. The bad guys are down 5. Our guys over on the 10 line, having 8.5 minutes in, or 8 minutes in, finished off the U-2501. I've got torpedoes up here, and they'll all be up in another 4 or 5 seconds or so. But I have to be really careful. I don't want to get so close that I get myself covered under radar as Zhao finishes off the Shimakaze. And I think probably what happened there, Alaska radar and was caught between Aegir, Alaska, and Tirpitz. I'm just going to flood that area with torpedoes, and I'm going to head up here. Now I have to be really careful because if you see on the minimap, the Druid was last seen in the middle of the Bravo cap. I'm really hoping those guys will come help me here at Bravo. I know they've got targets out there on the Tirpitz and the Alaska, and that's great, and I hope they're shooting at them. But I want to make sure that they're aware that our focus really needs to be the Bravo cap, because the bad guys are going to secure the Alpha cap, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that. I've got R2501 here with me, and I've got smoke ready, but I am well within the Alaska's radar range. And you can see the Druid is now over at Charlie. He's facing our Brindisi. As soon as I start to put this cap, I expect radar. And look at that Turpitz. That is some nice maneuvering by the Turpitz captain. I gotta hand it to him. Inches to spare on either side of the hull there. I'm really shocked I haven't seen the radar, but I'm guessing at this point it's got to still be on cooldown from his having used it for the red team to blap our Shimakaze. Brindisi smashes the Druid, and we really need one more good volley out of the Brindisi, but he might not get it. Druid's guns are amazing, and that's kill number 3 for their Druid. Now I'm going to secure this cap, and then I got to see what I can do about killing that Druid, because if I don't, I have a feeling, based on the way that our Buffalo and U-190 were playing, the Druid's probably enough to finish them off. So I'm really hoping Druid is going to continue running this way to get away from Buffalo's radar. Okay, now he's the closest thing to me, and I'm going to hope I can catch him right here at this corner. Now the Shimakaze guns don't reload very quickly, and the turret traverse is just awful, but they hit hard, and a lot of players just avoid using the guns. With me, I'm going to make use of them right here. Get all of them lined up. Druid's already banged up. Using the island for cover. And down goes Druid. And that might be just what we needed to win this game. You can see we're up by 7 points now, or 10 points, depending on when we're looking. Now, what have I done this game? Have I done anything amazing? No, not really. I've tried to do some spotting, tried to keep torpedoes out, tried to keep some of the red ships kind of on the run. Turpitz had to run across the entire map from my torpedoes. Granted, I didn't do a whole lot of damage to the Turpitz, but I kept him a long way away from the action. I was able to help secure the kill there on the Druid. And I got a lucky strike on the Shimakaze by putting my torpedoes out in an area where I knew there would be a Turpitz, and I got lucky and caught the Shimakaze crossing. So that's 2 kills. But I am, right now I'm thinking, oh, this could be really bad. Alaska could radar. I'm going to throw some torpedoes where the Agate might try to push through. And get some more torpedoes out here where the Zhao and the Alaska are going to likely be. And I'm going to try and get behind this island before their radar comes back up. Speed boost just went down. So it's a race. I'm expecting the radar anytime. They probably know my torpedoes are there and I'm moving to avoid. And I don't want to look back. I do manage to catch one of them until I had my line perfect to make sure I didn't run into the island here. Now I got to make the turn. I can just harass these guys, just drop some shells out. So I'm going around the corner here. Both of them were aimed elsewhere, so I've got a little time. I do manage to catch the Jaeger moving through the center. I got 1 AP volley out there on a broadside. Didn't do as much as I'd hoped. But catching the Jaeger, that was that was a sweet moment. He did come through there, or try to come through there. You can see on the mini-map, he's kind of right there in that gap. He didn't have a whole lot of HP, but still. I still have to watch out for radar here. I've got an Alaskan who's out pushing up, and also a Chapayev. And they seem pretty determined. There's the radar from the Alaska. Chapayev's the only one that can get guns on me. And I just want to keep it that way. Okay, radar goes down as I move just out of the range there. So nobody can hit me with radar right this second. But I expect it's probably going to come back up here. There it is. I'll just keep them interested. Keep their focus this way, and our Kansas might get their broadside. You can see our Kansas there in Bravo. Okay, the Alaska radar's down. Chapayev is moving too far north to really be any good. I'm going to put some torpedoes out in the likely area for the Alaska. Now, if he accelerates, he'll be able to outrun everything. That Zhao is just a one-shot kill. I'm going to head that way, and maybe I can be the guy that gets that. Nope. So the bad guys now are down to 4 ships, but so are we, as we lose our Kansas. Alaska looks like he's moving really quickly, or did. Can I distract him? I don't think it's going to do any good. I think he's going to outrun all the torpedoes. He's got his guns pointed elsewhere. Chapayev is the only thing I really have to worry about. Yeah, he's moving pretty good there. And I just completely whiff. As soon as he goes behind the island, I'm going to go dark. You can see on the minimap, Chapayev is just outside my detection radius for my guns. And now I got to worry about Chapayev radar. Alaska, he's probably feeling pretty good right now. He's got a Buffalo ahead of him, but he's got his U-190 and his Tirpitz out there to help. And, you know, Alaska's, if not one of the tankiest cruisers in the game. Now, are you 2501? He looks like he's on a mission. I think he's decided maybe he gets sunk, but he's going to do his best to take out the Tirpitz. Now, there is the Chapayev radar. So I am going to flood this entire gap in the hope that he tries to catch our submarine here. Let him know I'm here. You can see where his guns are pointed. I'm going to slow down. Just threw it in reverse. Okay, got him turning in. Now I got to get the rest of the torpedoes out. Okay, definitely he's interested. There's the radar. I'm going to smoke just to bait it all out. Got a little bit of HP to work with here. And just play with the throttle back and forth. And do what I can with the guns and hope the torpedoes can finish the job. I'm going to sit right here just in case they don't. And they do. Okay, so that's kill number 4. And I'm thinking it's cracking possible. We're up by 249 points now. Or no, more than that, 259, right? No. Anyway, a significant number. And I think this game's probably in the bag. We're just over 2 minutes. Buffalo is running away from a Tirpitz. If Tirpitz kills the Buffalo, well, that makes the score a lot closer. Our U-190, well, you know, let's be honest, he's been pretty ineffective all game, but he's still alive. And if you've watched my videos and enjoyed this channel any length of time, you know I preach that. Stay alive, stay alive. You just never know what you might be able to do later in the game. I was able to get off one volley unseen. His guns are pointed the other way, but here come the secondaries. Fire started. If he goes down, he's dead. So thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this. Did pick up a Kraken, which I feel pretty good about. Of course, we don't get any rewards for those anymore, but always feels nice. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. And as I try to finish out this U-190 before time expires, I will say thank you again, and I'll see you next time.